Hello, welcome back to DriveDriverDriven. After a long wait, I'm back, and hopefully I can show you some progress that's happened and tell you why it's been so long. So, first off, let's talk about the Ultima. So I know it doesn't look like much has happened. I believe where we left off, we had a fuel leak that was over here, up here on the bulkhead. It was the fitting that attaches to this 90-degree way back in here. Well, it turns out my idiot mechanic, being me, just forgot to tighten that fitting enough. And we had some fuel coming out. So we had pulled the intake and everything that we needed to get to that fitting. Found out it was just a fitting that was loose. Tightened it back up again, put everything back together, and here we are. Now, I've been addressing a second issue, which is why there's jumper cables and such here. Is this poor PC1100 battery is struggling. It's okay if I try to start the car once, but that's it. Like, I get one shot, and if it doesn't start, the voltage across that battery goes from 12 volts to below 10 volts. And once it does that, the Holley ECU will just drop the tune, like out of memory, whatever. It cannot cope with low voltage when you're starting, and the second it does that, the car won't start. So you have to key off, key on again, and try to start a second time. But you've already taken some life out of the battery, so then there may not be enough juice. You know, lather, rinse, and repeat. It drops the tune. So I've been trying to find a resolution for this to get another battery that has maybe more cold cranking amps, or some more, amp hours for battery life. I don't know which it needs, but it's like 50-50 right now if I try to start the car and if it'll run or not, because it'll just kill the battery. So like right now I've got a charger on it. Yesterday I was able to just fire it right up with the help of jumper battery. So I was going to try it today after I get the body work on, so that I can get, the rear clamshell back on the car, free up some space, and get back to another project that's been sidelined for way too long. And that's the Zero. So you can see it's dusty, it's dirty, it's been sitting in the backyard for, well, basically a year and a half. And unfortunately, when we were pulling it out of the garden, the tires came off of the dollies and it pulled the fender right out of the body and it cracked the fender. So it'll pass for now until I get it on the road, but I'll have to replace the fenders at some point or rebuild them. But otherwise, I tried to start it and the fuel pumps were just locked solid from sitting. And I have a couple of replacement fuel pumps there, a lift pump that goes in the back and then one that goes in the front of the sump tank. And I'm not looking forward to that because, again, it's working with fuel and making a mess. But once I get that done, I'll get the front fenders on. The Zero needs a retune because currently the ECU that's in there is set for a 2.5 liter motor. And even though it's a hot 2 liter, that's still way too much fuel. So it just blows clouds of smoke. And there's a couple different options that I've got to resolve that. One is to just try and fix the tune that's in there. However, it uses an Emerald ECU, which sucks. It's just awful. It's a terrible ECU. It's not intuitive. The software sucks. Like, I'll just go on and on. I don't like it at all. And so I bought a Haltech ECU. I bought a Haltech 1500 to replace it, but that requires rewiring the ECU and sort of starting from scratch. And I'm not sure if I want to do that just yet, or if I want to save that for like a winter project when I won't be able to drive the car much anyway. And I'm half kind of leaning that way, because I would rather just try to, you know, butcher the tune that's in there, chop 20% out of it, out of the fueling, and, you know, at least get it somewhat drivable so I can enjoy it this summer. And then in the wintertime, just rewire it with the new ECU, and so I can get that out of the way. A little bit of a garage update. Yeah, it's just a mess. It's like a bomb went off in here. 3 projects worth of cruft just floating around. Still a little bit work left to do on the Civic. There's still some Civic parts flying around in here. There's some new rear wing stanchions. That's this box here for the Ultima. I got more tires and wheels than I know what to do with. And I got to get that all sorted out. And then, of course, it looks like a bomb went off on the countertop over there, which needs a good going through. And then, you know, part shelves, etc. So just the whole garage in general needs a good sorting through. And once I'm able to get the Ultima wrapped up enough that I can call it done and get everything out of here, I can sort through it. So I mentioned, God, probably forever ago now, the I wanted to get back on track after my heart episode, but I didn't want to do it first in the Ultima. The Ultima is like here, it's an 11, and I really wanted to get on track in either the Zero or the Civic, which is like, well, I consider them like a 4, somewhere around in there. Like it's not too hairy, can't really get into too much trouble, but they're still both very, very fun to drive. And so that opportunity will be coming up next week, where I'm going to take the Civic out for its first track day in my care with all the new suspension, all the new setup, and we're going to see how it does, and we're going to see how I do. You know, again, first time back on track in whatever, almost 2 years since, you know, well, yeah, actually 2 years between the pandemic and my heart episode. I just haven't gone back to the track. So it'll be good to get on track again, to stretch my legs. I've got a lap timer in the car, so we can start setting some times with it, and let's see how it does and see how I do. But I'm kind of nervous, kind of anxious, kind of excited to get back on track. Again, it's been a bit, and I really can't wait to get out there. Weather should be just about perfect, and it's one of those track days where it's a hot track all day with hot pits, and you can just pull on and off as you need to throughout the day and sort of set your own session length. And I think for the morning sessions, I'll probably do some short ones and then some longer stints in the afternoon, but I guess we'll see how everything pans out on the day. So yeah, look forward to that. Otherwise, I think that's about it. It's just a lot of pointing and talking and stuff, but I just wanted to let you guys know kind of what was going on. It's mostly work keeping me busy, lots of work travel. You know, these sort of things come up, but yeah, unfortunately it's taken a lot of time away from the cars, and what time I did have to spend on the cars, I just wasn't really filming that much because there wasn't much to film. As I mentioned before, the fuel fitting was just loose. That's not really much for content, aside from like taking everything apart and putting it back together again, which you guys have seen multiple times now. So I think to wrap this up, maybe I'll get the clamshell put on and we'll fire the car so you can hear it. you guys for watching, and